Call this emergency meeting to order of City Commission of Rio Grande City. It is Wednesday, August 26, 2020. This meeting. And at this time, we'll have the roll call and finding of quorum by Ms.
You're gonna do the roll call first, Mayor?
Yes.
Instead of the,
Actually, you know what? No. Let's backtrack because I didn't see it on the agenda and let's do the invocation, of course, by Commissioner Jones, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Ramirez. My apologies.
The Barheads, Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to get together today to conduct city business. I ask you to guide us to make the right decisions for the residents of Rio Grande City. I ask you to bless all the residents of Rio Grande City and bless all law enforcement and firefighters that put their lives in the way every day to protect us. And all this I ask for you, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
Next item is 1B, roll call and finding of quorum. Ms. Garza,
yes, Mayor Villarreal,
here.
Mayor Pro Tem Garza,
Here.
Commissioner Flores, not here, Commissioner Ramirez,
Here.
and Commissioner Jones.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms.
I'm
Garza. Next item.
I'm also
Commissioner
present,
Item
Mayor.
2. Oh, there's
Oh,
Correct.
okay, there's Commissioner
Commissioner-
Flores.
Flores.
Okay, Commissioner Flores present.
Next business and orders, item 2, items for consideration, letter A, discussion and possible action approving order number 2020.
Oh, okay,
there's I, pending previously approved order number 2020-1H, extending the city's disaster declaration and existing emergency measures, order until September 30, 2020. For this item, Mr. Perez, do you have any information on this?
Mayor and Commissioners, we're pretty much extending what we had last month. You know, we basically have the Executive Order G829 still in play. Obviously, we're still looking at everyone wearing the face coverings when they're out in a commercial entity or in public or outside spaces. We still have in play the curfew. If you're 17 and under, you must be accompanied by a parent or a guardian. If you're 18 and over, curfew is between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. So we're just looking at continuing the shelter at home curfew and making sure everybody's still social distancing and wearing masks.
Continuation and just to continue our fight against this global pandemic, the fatalities, we're already over 118 fatalities. And so our sympathies and prayers to those families who have lost a loved one, family, neighbor, friend to COVID-19. And it is something that we need to continue to address, as 118 of our members of our community have passed on, and again, related to COVID-19. And it's a fight that we're gonna have to continue. Had the conversation with our health authority, and it's a continuing recommendation to pursue our emergency efforts, our emergency orders, and to continue. And at this point, it's prudent for us to continue this fight. And to the public, to continue those efforts to wear the face coverings, to wash our hands, the sanitizing, the social distancing. And it's something that we urge the public to not let our guard down. Now, on a good note, the silver lining is that it appears that hospitalizations have gone down. And now with the lifelines that we have to San Antonio and to Hidalgo, we are able to transfer patients without many complications in the procedural process. Of course, we're transferring patients that are critical or in critical care that is not available here at our hospital, but having this lifeline has been a tremendous help for our community. But again, hospitalizations appear to have gone down, and but it's something that we cannot let our guard down, because the activity rate is still around the same 16%, and hopefully that too will continue to decline before we can breathe a sigh of relief at this point. And again, going back to pointing to the fatalities that we've had in our community, still 118 members of our community who are no longer with us. But our fight must continue against this global pandemic. So with that, anything else, we pretty much would stay within the counties and of course within the state's requirements or within the authority granted to us by the state as well, and continue our efforts and urging the public to do their parts as well. And fortunately, our public has heeded the warnings and they are wearing the face coverings and they are by and large following suit with our parameters that we have set in place and the recommendations. So once again, thank you to the public. Thank you to all the individuals, all the doctors and nurses and frontline workers who are continuing to battle this on the front lines, and everyone else. Anything else that we would like to add to that, commissioners, or any points related to this continued order?
I've been paying attention to the numbers that have been coming out, and I just wanna, the numbers have been lower, and of course what you just mentioned about the hospitalizations, I think it's all due to the fact that our citizens here in Rio Grande and in this community are really contributing to those numbers. They're starting to you can see that everybody's starting to use masks and social distance and be very careful, and I wanna commend the public for doing that. At the same time, we still think about those that have passed because of this virus, and we continue to keep them in our prayers, man.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anyone else on this note? And going back to continuing that fight, something that'll definitely come up in the very near future is the reopening of schools and in-person learning. And that's one of those critical elements that we have to watch carefully because of the impact that it can have on our community. So that's something we have to be on the same page with our local health authority and as well as the other entities and organizations, so we can have a unified collaborative voice in what direction we want to take our community, considering the hotspot that we've been for the last several months. And although our numbers seem to be slowing down to some degree, it would be prudent for us to not really continue this fight in a way we have in the last several months, because that could be a catastrophe waiting to happen. So in essence, Let's really keep that voice in mind as schools are looking at reopening and what impact that would have on our community, considering our numbers. That's something that we as a commission might have something to look into as far as having a voice and speaking for and our community's needs, continuing back to the hotspot that we've been. Bottom line, I'll be careful to reopen so quickly, especially in-person learning. That would create a catastrophic situation that could potentially drive our numbers way up again. So that's something that we need to continue to monitor and see how that's going to play out, particularly in our community with the high rates that we've had in the last several weeks. And again, the silver lining is that it seems that it's trending in the right direction, but we want to make sure that it continues going in that direction and not have a detrimental effect on our community, especially with our health authority mentioned the flu season coming up as well, and then having the flu season along with COVID-19, that would be a catastrophe waiting to happen, particularly that our medical community is not in a position to sustain another spike. I mean, at this point, many of our medical professionals are in a position where they've had a difficult time fighting this global pandemic, and we would not want to be again in a position where we're a hotspot. Even though we are, but again, just the numbers that are trending down, which is positive for our community. So just something to keep our eyes open on as far as this whole reopening and in-person learning, and have that conversation to see what we can do to minimize the potential catastrophe waiting to happen if everybody just goes back to school. Any thoughts on that, commissioners?
No, Mayor, just like you said, I think it's important that everybody continue to practice safety and social distancing. And again, I think, like Commissioner Garza said, it's showing the numbers that everybody's really paying attention to what's going on. And, it's a serious situation, we're in. So again, for everybody's safety and for the being of all children and elderly and everybody in general, again, continue just, doing what you're doing, and, hopefully we can get back to normal soon.
With that, anything else, Mr. Perez, before we entertain a motion at this time?
No, Mayor and Commissioners, we're good.
Okay. And on our own note, Mr. Perez, just continuing all the practices, of course, here at City Hall and with our own staff and all of us doing our part.
Yes, sir.
We entertain a motion at this time?
That's a point that we approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve by Commissioner Ramirez.
I'll second, Mayor.
We have a second by Commissioner Garza. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, raise your left hand. Motion passes. And at this time, do we entertain a motion for adjournment?
I shall move.
Or we have another meeting soon?
I second, Mayor.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn by Commissioner, was it Ramirez?
Yes.
Second, Commissioner Jones. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, to raise your left hand. Motion passes. Meeting adjourned. It is 5:51 p.m. Thank you.
Commissioner